All right, more trade news. It just keeps coming. Avalanche, Minnesota Wild division rivals involved in a deal that sends Brandon Duhaime from the Minnesota Wild to the Colorado Avalanche. Duhaime playing a lot of left wing, can play on the right side as well. 62 games played this year, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. He's a -7, 66 penalty minutes. Duhaime is a defensive first forward. He's fast. He can fly up the ice. He's very physical. He can drop the gloves, and he's excellent on the penalty kill. So the Wild are going to miss that on the penalty kill. But overall, I think this is a solid pickup for the Avalanche to get bigger, really build towards the playoffs. Nice bottom six forward. Can step up, play a third line role if you need him to, but not going to provide you a ton of offense at this point in his career. He is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the summer. I don't think the Wild and Brandon Duhaime had a good time going about negotiations last year when they signed this one-year contract. So this is kind of an inevitable move. We kind of knew this was coming from the Minnesota Wild's standpoint. Wild in return get a 2026 third-round pick. You know the Avalanche are potentially going to go on a run in the playoffs this year and will be pretty solid next year. So the hope is that 2026 third-round pick will be a little better than what it is now. We'll see. It's in the future. Forward thinking is what it is. The Avalanche are wheeling and dealing. Next trade between the Avalanche and Nashville Predators. Avalanche get Yakov Trenin. I like Trenin a lot. I almost got a Trenin jersey, but the Pecorino jersey was on sale and was my favorite goalie going up, so I got the Rene jersey. Nonetheless, Trenin, 60 games played this year, 10 goals, 4 assists, 14 points. He's a +12, 38 penalty minutes. He's a big forward. He can, he likes to hit. He's pretty solid defensively. The offense can be hit or miss. He can play on the penalty kill if you need him to, but not necessarily an ideal penalty killer. Can be a depth power play guy, but a solid, bottom six forward. Again, really building up for the playoffs is what the Avalanche are doing, and I like it. I think these have all been pretty solid moves. The top six forwards, top four defensemen, you're building not just for the playoffs, but for the future, for future success as well, for sustaining a playoff team. But the bottom six, I love. They're just going for it this year. It's awesome. They also get prospect Graham Sword, left-hand shot defenseman. He's 20 years old. He was a 2022 fifth-round pick by the Washington Capitals. He's playing in the WHL right now with a Wenatchee Wild. First time saying Wenatchee, first time really, hearing that word. So I hope I'm saying it right, but I'm sure there's only one way to say it. So 58 games played, 15 goals, 58 assists, 73 points. He's a +40. Plus minuses in the WHL can be so up and down. It's take it with a grain of salt. +40 doesn't mean he's a defensive stalwart, and it could. I don't really know. But really started to pop off in the WHL this year, the Canadian Hockey League. He was just above a half point per game the prior 2 seasons, so that's good. Predators in exchange get prospect Jimmy Hansel, former 6th round pick from this past year's draft. He's a left-hand shot defenseman as well. He's 21 years old, so a year older. He's also in the WHL playing for the Seattle Thunderbirds. 58 games played. He has 13 goals, 37 assists for 50 points. He's a -6. But the main takeaway is it's really Yakov Trenin for a 2025 third-round pick. Avs trading their third-round picks away to really fill out that bottom six. I'm not mad at it. I think Trenin and Duhaime are both pretty solid deals and about what you'd expect for those players. I think there was talk about Trenin or Duhaime being potentially a second-round pick. I thought that was a little too high, but a third-round pick seems accurate. Same kind of goes for Trenin, right? Duhaime offers a little more on special teams than Trenin, but nonetheless, both are big, powerful bottom six forwards that can contribute a little bit offensively, provide different looks for your team, which is good. Last trade, the Blackhawks got a 2024 fifth-round pick in exchange for winger Anthony Beauvillier. Beauvillier having a brutal bounce-back season. 23 games played this year, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. He's a -10, which is not good in 23 games. You don't want to be a minus every other game. That is less than ideal. Villiers hoping to find his game back with Nashville, and he might. It wouldn't surprise me too much. Barry Trotz with that familiarity from Beauvillier in his Islander days when Barry Trotz was the coach. So there's some familiarity there, especially if you're paying a fifth-round pick, a guy that could potentially score. Beauvillier, though, with the New York Islanders, absolutely went off in the playoffs. He was such a prominent playoff performer for, I think, 3 straight years they were in the playoffs. He played well at all ends of the ice. So I think that's more or less what the Predators are hoping for. And if you're paying a fifth-round pick to get that, that's fair. I think that's a risk you're willing to take if you're the Nashville Predators. Yeah, I'm not mad at this. I don't know how it's a cap hit. He has a 4.15 cap hit, but I think his contract expires. Yeah, so we'll see if he gets re-signed. He might get re-signed at like $1 million, $1.2 million type contract with Nashville. We'll see what happens. But again, we're all caught up for the trades. It's still early. We still got plenty of time. Less than 23 hours to go until the trade deadline. So it should be, if anything, picking up. I think we got some big deals coming too. There's a lot of talk about some bigger name players. We've already had some pretty big splashes so far, but I think there's still a few more to come. So we'll see. This is way more exciting than the past couple of years. Last year was decent, but we're starting to get more and more exciting trades every year, and I wasn't expecting too much from this year. This has already exceeded my expectations, and we're not even on trade deadline day just yet. So more to come. We'll see. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think of any of these. Who do you like? You like what the Avalanche are doing? The Predators are starting to wheel and deal too, which is exciting. Though they're not making the waves they're making aren't too big, but at least they're splashes. All right, that's all I got. Appreciate you. Take care. All right.